brilliant. My name's Ed Winfield. I'm speaking to you today from Content Guru. We're going to talk about the rise of the machine agent, which we believe is probably the next logical step in all industrial revolution phases of humankind. What are we going to talk about today? So a little bit of a light-hearted look at automation through the ages so that we don't need to fear the onset of artificial intelligence. Then the rise of this concept of the machine agent, where you're going to bring artificial intelligence services into the customer experience sphere and how you can actually practically apply them without fearing that it's a threat on people's jobs, but it gives an increase in customer experience and agent experience. Then we're going to give you a little bit of a how-to guide. We're doing lots of machine agent projects with our clients, and there's some really good use cases that can be driven from some of these services, and then a little bit about ourselves, and then hopefully you'll bombard me with lots of difficult questions that hopefully I'll be able to answer. The first thing is, humankind has always looked for some form of assistance in carrying out its tasks, whether that be adding a cart to a horse to help haul more things around, whether that's the mills making fabrics, or whether that's the onset of mainframe computers rather than human beings having to do lots of calculations. And the main thing that we're trying to do when we're driving these kinds of services is we're trying to remove monotonous, recurring, laborious things from both the customer and the human performing the task, because that clogs up people's brains, it's not enjoyable, drives CX down and drives the agent experience down. And then the second thing, the brilliant benefit of that is we get efficiency gains within our contact center and within our experience that we're delivering to customers. So there's a double benefit for doing that. What kind of things do we use for artificial intelligence to power machine agents? So we've really got three things that underlie it, and a variety of sources to bring that into the customer sphere. The first is the human voice and the technology available to understand what we're saying when we speak into a service or we write into a service is natural language processing. So being able to ask somebody, what would you like to do today? Simple statement back, capturing intent, taking a decision upon it, and then routing things effectively. Second thing is image recognition. We have lots of touch points with organizations where we can text or tweet or WhatsApp or web chat a photo of something in, whether that be something that we're proud of on Instagram, whether that be something we're annoyed with on Twitter, or whether that be something we require a local authority to assist us with. And then the other thing we can do is, because machine agents don't take a break and they have inherent power, you can do lots of data processing at scale whilst at the same time collecting data. How these services manifest themselves is chatbots, image recognition, your data processing, your natural language processing, and then some of the robotic process automation that you may want to factor in. So emulating what a human might do, but just doing it in a more repeatable and more efficient way. And there's lots of different technologies underpinning how you can do this, and we at Content Group have a combination of those. We don't particularly lean on one versus another. We factor all of those into our products and services. The first thing is, a machine agent is not Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. It's not going to steal your jobs, it's not going to kill your children, and it's not going to kind of destroy the planet. The machine agent is there as a helping hand to take the workload and deliver some of that benefit for both customers and for organizations and agents. What we have on Storm is our machine agent toolkit, which is basically an AI toolkit that can harness all different kinds of AI platforms within the scripting and tooling that you have in your customer contact center, and then serves that up into the agent and the customer journey, so that you can actually leverage different types of technology in different parts of the customer journey, collecting data, acting with insight, understanding intent, and taking decisions and routing and addressing those inquiries in the correct way. The good thing about a machine agent, of course, is it doesn't take a break, it's never late for work, doesn't have lunch, and you can leave it working in the background. And for some of those simple inquiries, that can mean that they're operating on a true 24/7 basis. Some of the examples, so you can automate some of the self-service. I call it the what, where, when. So what is my, where is my, when is my. You look up onto a system of record, you've gathered it from what's been said or written, you can then interrogate a system, pull the latest information out and proactively push it into somebody, the customer, and that will be the exact kind of inquiry and the resolution that they're looking for. It doesn't require a human at all, it's quick, it's easy, it has low inertia. The bravest thing we ask our customers to do when they're trying to wean them off push-button, number-based IVRs is, what do I need to do? All you need to do is ask your customer why they're calling you today and interpret the answer. And within that answer is going to be all the insights and all the data and all the things that you need to do to route that call effectively, whilst at the same time not annoying your customer with lengthy menus that you're dictating the avenues in which they go down. So that's really, really important. The other thing about a machine agent is you can measure and supervise your calls and your agent interactions through the same lens, through the same filter, and do that automatically, get scoring, get quality management, have you set a compliance statement, have you issued a caveat before you've issued some financial information. But you can do that all in an automated way and flag those calls and interactions where you may have excellence, you may have learning, or you may have a problem. So that's another great thing for the machine agent. And then lastly, as we've touched on before, the image recognition. Simple things like you've damaged your car, you send a picture of the damage to your insurance company. It's a small claim, they've got enough photo evidence for you to close and address your claim without lengthy human interaction. Or it could be somebody's vandalised at the local park and I want you to come and clear up the graffiti and repair the damage that they've done. So that's also very powerful. Also what you can do is with a machine agent, you can pop data that you've gathered at the start of a customer journey to the agent so that they can actually be informed before taking the human interaction with somebody. So that's very, very important that you know the context with the query that you're about to receive. The mass metadata we've got across loads of different languages means you could probably do some translation. We've got a client in Romania and we do all different kinds of queries for them in about 5 or 6 different languages. And we found one of the AI engines was strong in all other languages, not so strong in Romanian. So we changed the AI engine behind with the machine agent, and the Romanian service is at the same standard as all the others. So very, very good indeed. The multi-skilled agent, so giving the agent the knowledge so that any inquiry that they have, advising of next best action or a knowledge article in an FAQ or a database, and then popping that up into the agent so that they know how to advise that client in a dynamic way. We've already touched on routing the call. Tell us why you're calling today. We've already touched on the fact that machine agents don't have breaks, don't sleep, so you can leave them running, doing all of those tasks. And really, they can support you across a variety of channels, not just the voice ones, the text ones, and some of the digital channels. Very, very valid help. So, anything that you've got in terms of building a service, if you can plug an AI machine agent into it in the customer journey, then you can begin to harness and assemble any part of your contact center environments, any part of that service that you're delivering to your clients. You can spot in, change a script, measure it, test it. If it works, you can augment it and harness it even more. If it doesn't work, you can take it out very easily without interrupting other flows within your system. Now, data is the key thing. One of our early adopters of NLP technology was a public sector organisation, Companies House, that registers all company accounts. Any of you that are business owners will be doing that regularly. And they had quite a complicated IVR, and they wanted to test out how they could use natural language processing to automate some of the inquiries that could only be resolved on the web. So we rolled this thing out for them 2.5 years ago, and they were trying to do winding companies up and registering companies. and they actually thought there were only two ways of saying those two things. Actually, there were 19 different ways of saying I'd like to wind up a company, and there were 21 different ways of saying I'd like to start a company. And then after 5 days of running the service, they collected so much data that they put another 11 use cases in the NLP engine, because they were seeing that automation, texting the relevant area of the .gov.uk website to resolve their query, resulting in happier, quicker interactions with clients and automation and less agent utilization, freeing their agents up for those more complex queries, resulting in that workload. So you've got to gather your data in the customer journey, and the best place is at the very start. Whether that's on a text or a voice, tell us what's your inquiry today, and let people just freely tell you what that nature of that inquiry is, and you'll gather really big insights upon that. Then you can refine it. What data do you need to deliver better CX? Is it at the start that you can actually put these things in the customer journey? Are there other things that I can automate? Have I really looked at what I'm using a human being for, and is it really necessary for somebody to read out a website or pass on some advice that's available in another forum? And then, because you've gathered all this data and because you're measuring the effectiveness and you're actually asking your customers whether they're happy or not, you can actually build continuous data and really start to refine and improve the service that you're delivering. So how do you do it? So one of our consultants would sit down, work with you, we try and map out, sit next to the agents, how do you do this query, let's listen into some calls, let's work out how you interact with your clients, what channels you're using, and then we'll begin to formulate a picture of where we can apply some of this automation and some of this technology to actually help the contact center agent. Typical things are, what are the 5 things that you love about your job, agent? What are the 5 things that you dislike about your job? And there could be some really irritating things that they don't like doing, which your customers don't like either, and you're trying to free up and get rid of all the inertia in the customer journey. And the good news about our AI toolkit is, as I touched upon earlier, we're using all of the different kinds of sources of metadata so that we can apply the best service in the scripting environment for you to apply a machine agent into your customer journey. A little bit about ourselves. So we've been in Cloud Contact Center for over 15 years. We're from Content Group. We're part of the Redwood Technologies group, and we've been around this stuff since the very, very start. We've been using intelligent automation in utilities companies and offering machine agents for a number of years now. So we're really beginning to see the benefits of automation, whether that's harnessing peak demand, unforeseen demand, or just delivering better customer experiences for our clients. And you'll see from the screen here, people say, oh, what industry do you specialize in? And the short answer is, we've got use cases for all industries because we've got an adaptable platform, whether that be one-on-one services in London with the NHS, whether that's if you've got a power cut, 5 out of the 6 power companies in the UK are using our service to keep you informed of when your breakage or your power interruption is going to be restored. Or whether that's when you're looking online at a house and you want to contact the estate agent. These are all the different kinds of customers that are leveraging services that we've got today. And you'll see Companies House up there, which is surprisingly a public sector organisation really embracing some of this machine agent technology. Partnerships that we've got, so we're a Google CCAI partner. Some of you may be familiar with some of the services that they offer. Nuance for some of their voice recognition services. IBM with their Watson platform, and Microsoft Azure with some of the AI toolkits that they've got. The good thing for you guys is you get access to all of these and more via the Storm platform, because we offer modules that offer different things. We've productized them, we turn them into action cells within our service scripting tool, so they're easy to consume, easy to deploy, and easy to use. On the Gartner Magic Quadrant, you'll find us as a challenger, and more importantly, globally, we're for the 4th year straight for the use case for the highest volume call center. We're number 1 for the 4th year in a row. We are absolutely in the pedigree of dealing with big, high-scale, unforeseen demands and delivering that mission-critical applications for our customers. So that's something that you can be sure on with your services. I won't take you through the awards, but you can see all the quality and you can see all the industry awards there. And we're in a fantastic industry that's growing at a pace. CX and contact centre is absolutely where a lot of companies are putting a lot of effort into. So we're growing very, very quickly, and we're really, really happy with what's going on out there in the CX world. We're over there at AA10. We've got some demos we can